Hi guys, so this week I've decided to bring you a bit of an Amazon FBA related FAQ/Q&A session. So I've asked my Instagram followers to send me some questions about what they want me to answer in regards to FBA. I will be answering some of the questions that have been left in the comment section below of my previous videos. So without further ado, let me grab the tablet and we'll go through some of these questions. Okay, so the first question is, what even is FBA? Right, okay, basics. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, and it is a service that Amazon provides where you send your items into Amazon and then they will pick, pack, ship and everything, deal with customer service and everything in regards to your inventory. So in my case, mainly doing books. I would buy books, put them in a box in bulk, send them away to Amazon. Then when a book does sell, Amazon would pick the book, pack the book, ship it to the customer and deal with any customer service, and I just get paid the money minus their fees in between. So yeah, what is FBA? That's what FBA is. The next one's a question from Luke Stones. He asks, what was your starting budget? To be honest, I didn't really have a starting budget, but if I'm going to look at some numbers, I would probably say it was in the region of around £250. That was including setting the Amazon account up, getting the pro seller account, buying my first lot of books, accounting for the cost of actually getting them to Amazon, and everything like that really. So yeah, probably about £250, maybe a push probably $400-500 at a max. But in all honesty, you can definitely do it with £250. You can get started on Amazon books, no doubt about it. He also asks, how do you work out what to price your books at? Okay, so I'll probably do a separate video on this eventually, but as a rule of thumb, I would generally look at if there is any other FBA marked prices and generally beat their price as long as they are a condition that is the same as mine. So let's say I'm looking to price a book and it's in very good condition and another seller has it in very good condition. If theirs is, let's say, $12.99, I would go $11.99, same condition. If it's less condition, let's say good opposed to very good, probably go around $9.99, £10, somewhere like that. However, if the only other FBA is, let's say, an acceptable and it's at $24.99, I'd quite easily shoot for sort of $34.99, £40, somewhere around that mark, as people will pay a lot more money for a very good or like new condition book opposed to an acceptable book. At those prices, they're usually going to be textbooks. However, when there are no Amazon FBA prices to compare against and there is only the merchant fulfilled ones, sometimes it is a little bit different. So really, I'd look to sort of get around $7.99 absolute minimum for any book that I'm sending to FBA. So I mean, a lot of these ones you will go on and you'll see the merchant fulfilled prices probably around £4 or £5. If that's the case, I'd put it on at £10, $9.99, somewhere around there, and I would sell it at that. You're quite easily going to get twice the price for Amazon Prime, just because your buyers are going to get it the very next day and you've got the trust of the Amazon Prime tick. It works. I know you sat there at home might not pay twice as much for a book to get it from Amazon Prime, but fortunately actually for us, people do. So yeah, don't be put off by that. It's a bit weird when you first get into it, I know, because it took me a little bit of adjusting, but trust me, it really does work. And he also asks, is FBA quicker selling and do you achieve a higher price? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, me myself, I would always buy an Amazon Prime book over a merchant fulfilled book, and a lot of people do nowadays. Thing is, we're living in sort of the newer age, millennial society, where people are wanting to get their stuff now. They're not wanting to wait 3 to 5 days plus for a merchant fulfilled item to arrive. They want it the very next morning, they want it the very next afternoon. Unfortunately, that's the world that we now live in. So yeah, I would say that they definitely sell faster. And would you be able to achieve a higher price? Yeah, definitely. Like I just explained on how I price my items, a lot of the time I will sell the same item on Prime for twice as much as a merchant fulfilled item, and that helps cover the fee as well, so yeah. One of the guys that I speak to an awful lot on Instagram, got a really good relationship in the DMs, is what you got today. He's got a few questions. First of all, he's asking, do you polybag books? This is one of those things where a lot of people will say, yeah, I polybag every book, and some people don't polybag anything. When I first started, I used to polybag every single book I sent to Amazon in a proper FBA suffocation labelled bag. I don't do it anymore, cost reasons and time reasons really. It took an awful lot of time to package them and stick the labels on them and things like that. I just don't have time for it, and the extra cost, it was making sure I had the right size bags and things in all the time in stock, and it was just a bit of a ball's ache, to be honest. So no, I don't polybag all of my books. However, if I do get a collectible book, a like new book, any new books, or anything that's got some serious value, I will polybag it just to make sure. It's just got that extra layer of protection, I guess. So yeah, I mean, if it's a book, let's say anywhere over around £30, I'll polybag it. And if it's like new or new, it'll always be polybagged. So next up, he asks, is every one of your listings FBA? Yeah, every single one of my listings is FBA. I don't merchant fulfill any items whatsoever. Moving on to the next one. How long does it take from sending stuff to Amazon to your items being live and able to purchase? Okay, bit of a hard one to answer, to be honest, because it depends whereabouts in the country you are and which Amazon warehouses you're sending things to. The warehouse that I send my stuff to, I tend to be able to leave me on day one and be checked into Amazon and be active and able to buy by day 5. So I'd say around 5 working days is what it usually takes from leaving me to being checked in at Amazon, compared to what some people are telling me that they're having to wait sometimes up to 2 weeks. I'm considering myself quite lucky. On a few occasions where I have had to send things to other Amazon warehouses, it has taken sort of 10, 14 days. Usually I'd say around 5 working days is what it takes. So the next question is, can you adjust the condition of an item after you've sent it? Without checking, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm 99% sure that once you've labelled your item as a certain condition and you've sent it away to Amazon, there is no going back. That's the condition it's on for. I think the only way you'd be able to change it is if you paid Amazon to send it back to you and then sticked it, reconditioned it and sent it back in. His next question is it difficult to sell on FBA Europe? To be honest, in the past 3 weeks I have launched into the European markets on Amazon. So I'm now selling in Spain, Italy, France, Germany, and I'm sure I'm missing one somewhere, apologies. But yeah, I'm selling in all the European markets on Amazon at the moment. We did see a bit of a sales spike, to be honest. We do sell an awful lot more now. We are selling in Amazon Europe, and to be honest, the fees and things, they're not really any different, and it was really, really easy to set up. It took a couple of hours, I think, on one night just to go through it all, and yeah, I was away. So I'll probably do a video on that a bit later on, how to get set up on Amazon Europe. Next is, how often do you source? Bit of an odd question because it changes all the time with me, to be honest. It just completely depends on when I get time. So as a rule of thumb, every Sunday I visit in particular charity shop of mine, which is actually open on a Sunday. And I always pick stuff up there. It's always a really, really good sourcing location for us. So every Sunday I do put an hour's worth of sourcing in at this certain location. Throughout the week, on my lunch breaks and things like that, I will nip out, go to certain charity shops and just have a bit of a look around and see what I can find. Generally, after work, I'll sit down with the tablet, go through places like Spock, Gumtree and things like that, have a look for book deals and see what I can pick up from there. So how often do I source? Completely varies. Sometimes literally I will source once a week, sometimes it is every single day. It just depends what sort of goals I'm building to that week, really. What size boxes do you use? So if you watched my last video, I'll put a link to that here. I mentioned that the boxes that I use are from Amazon Prime themselves. They are 47 centimeters by 32 centimeters by 32 centimeters. They work really well. They can get easily 25 kilos of books in there. So yeah, for more details on that, have a look at the other video. Do you use a third-party scanning app? I do. Emma tends not to. Emma tends to like the official Amazon seller app. However, I use FBA Scan. I'll put a link to FBA Scan in the description below. I find it an awful lot easier to use than Neato Scan. I find it a lot richer in the features that it has. I would recommend anyone go and check it out. I think it's around £10 a month, and it makes my life sourcing an awful lot easier. But not only that, it makes the decisions on you picking up certain books or not picking up certain books a lot more profitable, I would say. It's made me keep a lot more books on the shelf, but also helped me to pick a lot more up. So in terms of actually turning books around and seeing what is profitable and what's going to turn over quickly, I would definitely recommend that you check out FBA Scan. Another question is, what does FC transfer mean? Okay, so sometimes when you send your inventory into Amazon, it doesn't come up as active and live straight away. Sometimes it goes to something called FC transfer. FC transfer is basically fulfillment center transfer. So sometimes you'll send your items to Amazon and they will go to a fulfillment center. And basically this is where they are moving it internally to an Amazon warehouse that they feel would suit the location of where your inventory needs to be. So let's say you're selling a certain book and they know that this sells in London a lot better than out anywhere else. They'll ship it to the warehouse that's closest to the people that are going to buy it. It's really, really intelligent, the software that they use internally for that. I can't really go into that any more than that, but that's basically what it means. Normally it isn't an FC transfer for any longer than 5 days, and that's really what sometimes delays the checking in of your items at Amazon. And his final question is, what other types of income do you have? Pretty good question, because there is a few. I do Amazon, I do eBay, and I matched bet. There's a whole section on my blog at www.thecybervagabond.com about matched betting and a tutorial on how to get into it. It's a really, really simple way to make at least an extra £400 or £500 a month. So yeah, I'd recommend that you go and check that out. Also, I do Amazon merch, so that is designing t-shirts and things for sale on Amazon. I really enjoy doing that, and that's another thing that you can make a really, really good passive income on. I do bits and bobs of affiliate marketing, and again, you can check all these other bits and bobs out on my website at cybervagabond.com. So now I've got some questions from Chris Wilczek. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong there, apologies. These have come in from Instagram. So he said, in your opinion, where are the best places to source? To be honest, the best places to source are probably charity shops. I really enjoy sourcing in charity shops. I've got a really good relationship with some of the managers and some of the workers in certain charity shops now, basically just being in there all the time. So yeah, I do love charity shop sourcing. A lot of people know from my previous video that I do a lot of bulk buying as well. So I'll keep my eye out on places like eBay, Gumtree, Spark for sort of huge bulk deals where I'm going to be buying like 1,000+ books at a time. I'll just go through them, sort out what's going to Amazon and then what's going to be sold on exactly the same platform again. Usually they end up paying for themselves and the books are just free pretty much. And the books are pretty much free because let's say I'll buy 1,000 books for £50, I'll keep 300 of them that are going to Amazon, and then I end up selling the 700 that are left for £50. Therefore the 300 that have gone to Amazon are essentially free. And yeah, I do that on a pretty regular basis. So another good place to source, which I've briefly touched on before, is Spock, Gumtree, eBay, and even sometimes Amazon. I'm going to go into that a little bit more in detail on another video on how to buy certain books on Amazon, get them sent to you, and then send them back in for a profit. It's especially good at this time of year for textbook season, and yeah, you can make a lot of money doing that. He also asks, what is the highest price book that you've currently got for sale? I've just done a quick check, and the highest price book that I've got for sale at the moment is £129.99. Does it sell very often? No, but will it sell? Definitely. That's one that I'm definitely going to be paying long-term storage fees on, I think. However, it's going to be totally worth it when it does sell. He also asks, do you price your books manually or do you use a repricer? To be honest, I'd love to try out a repricer. I've just not had the chance yet. I know that Reezy Resells recommended Repricer. However, it's not available to use on the European or UK markets for Amazon at the moment, which is a bit of a shame because it is a really cheap, well-established tool to use. A lot of the repricers in the UK seem to be really steep on price at the moment. Repricer Express, I think, is the best, and that's one that when I was chatting to Reezy Resells, he mentioned that that is the one that he would recommend for the UK. So at one point I am going to try out Repricer Express, however I've just not had the chance yet. When I do try it out, I will obviously make a video and share my opinion with you guys. So at the moment I do all of my repricing manually, so I will do a video on that, basically explaining how I go through all my inventory really fast. I'll teach you how to do it too. Chris also asks, do you have any plans to expand into private label? 100% definitely yes. If I'm going to be honest, there's probably a lot more money, well no, there's not probably, there's definitely a lot more money in private label on Amazon than on books. However, the gateway that books gives you will take you into anything on Amazon that you want to do. It's a really cheap way to get started on Amazon. You can build up your cash from that and then expand into wholesale, private label, retail arbitrage, wherever you want to go really. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go into private label at some point. However, it's just not the time in my life just yet. Finally, one last question from an anonymous person. It is, do you stick heavy package labels on just one side of the box when you send them to Amazon, or all? To be honest, I stick 4 heavy package labels on each box that I send to Amazon. So I'll always put one on the top, one on the bottom, and then 2 on the sides. It leaves 2 sides without a label. However, I think Amazon says that they just have to be predominant on the box. And if they're on 4 out of 6 sides of the box, if they don't see it, then it's pretty much their fault, I'd say. So that's all for this Q&A session. If you have any other questions or anything, please just pop them in the comment section below. And I definitely will answer every single comment that you guys leave. So don't forget the usual, guys. Please leave a like on the video, a comment below, and please subscribe to my channel. It means the absolute world to me, and I really want to continue doing these videos to help you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next week.